and we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. And our topic is root causes. Verbal remembrance of the Miriam's action will inspire a person to refrain from a Lashon Hara only if he is not in a habit transgressing this bitter sin. However, one who has developed this habit and thus finds it difficult to refrain from speaking and listening to forbidden talk, must deal with the spiritual malady as we would treat physical one. To cure the physical condition, one must determine the condition source and then administer the appropriate medication. Similarly, when one is afflicted with a penchant for a particular form of gossip, for negative behavior, he must determine its root cause and eradicate it. So it's very interesting. So let's read again. We're going to explain. And it says, so, sorry. The time before that, we're discussing the story of Miriam, right? That's one of the remembrance that we say every day after Shacharis. And he says, how is it possible people just finish saying and they start speaking Lashon Hara? That's a very interesting question. So today we say verbal remembrance of the Miriam's affliction will inspire a person refrain from Lashon Hara only if he is not in habit transgressing this bitter sin. Meaning, if person is too deep into it, they do not even see what's wrong. That's the issue. You understand? That's the huge issue. Okay. But if he's not there or she's not there, so just one reminder is maybe that's good, right? For example, if somebody is smoking and then somebody said that smoking is not good, okay, or it can damage somebody's health, okay, they say okay, no problem. But somebody who is not smoking or is smokes from time to time, he hears, whoa, smoking, whoa, I better stop. Okay, I think that's a similar situation. However, one who has developed such a habit and thus finds it difficult to refrain from speaking and listen to forbidden talk must deal with the spiritual malady that he would do with the physical one, right? When it's too deep and it's impossible to just to stop, right? It's a part of this person, part of that person's personality, right? That they must do something like drastic, something like a surgery, right? As he said, treat the spiritual malady as a physical one. Okay. To cure a physical condition, one must determine the condition source and then administer the appropriate medication. So we don't go by the symptoms. Symptoms are very important, but we must understand the cause, right? Does somebody have a headache for a few days or something, right? Very severe. So the doctor might send the person to MRI. So it's not the head; it's something else. I mean, it could be something in the head, but it could be somewhere else in the body. Need to check, right? So we need to determine the root cause. Similarly, when one is afflicted with a penchant of the particular form of negative behavior, he must determine the root cause and eradicate it. So as we said many times, so maybe it's your surroundings, maybe it's your right, maybe it's you, maybe you're the initiator of the conversation. You're trying to be friendly and ask people questions, and they are eager to answer you, right? That's a problem. Next one, continue. The root cause of Loshon Hara alluded in the words, literally geinom. Called geinom. Okay. All geinom. This was the acronym of anger, scoffing, arrogance, despair, without rule of regulation, negativity, and saying it is permissible. We shall elaborate on each one of these traits. There are those who are frequent transgressors of the law of forbidden speech, as rooted in the trait of anger. These people are quick-tempered, and their anger flares in the slightest provocation. In a fit of anger, they find it impossible to control their tongues, speaking whatever comes to mind. There is no hope for such a person to develop the quality of Shmiras Haloshon unless they learn to overcome their tendency toward anger. Okay, so let's do it again, and we're going to explain one more time. The root cause of Lashon Hara alluded in the words like all geinom, right? So what does it mean all geinom? The words are acronym of anger. So as we said, and I think we're going to go character trait by character trait in the next paragraphs, but here he already describes anger. Scoffing, so people need to talk about somebody else, make all of these remarks. Arrogance, right, to put somebody down, of course, yeah. So and just say how everybody's not up to their standards, up to their level. Despair. Right? Despair meaning desperate person, that everybody is this, that, they're not reliable, that evil, and a person would talk non-stop. So, and sometimes people ask this question, or not even question, they decide just because somebody is in the deep depression, so you can listen to whatever they have to say, and you have to continue conversation. I mean, that's not the solution. Your listening is not going to help them. I mean, to relieve the despair for some time, but in the long run, it's not going to help. We need to find a permanent solution. If they want, if they don't want, it's going to be a waste of time. It's like you're going to put your energy, your life, your time into like a bucket with the holes in the bottom. Guaranteed. I did it. I know. Without rule of regulation, he is ownerless, right? Meaning I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever. It's my opinion. What, I'm not entitled to my opinion. That's we heard it many times, right? Next one, negativity, and I think all of us knows. I know some people, and somehow in my mind, I mean, it's my personal theory. They look very similar in my mind, and they dress very similar. I'm talking about guys, and the same body constitution. I'm not sure why, and they same way of preference of dressing. Right? And always negative, and some sarcastic remarks, and that's it. That's the whole person. And the last one is a huge one, saying it is permissible. Right? It's permissible for me because this and that and that. Okay. We shall elaborate on each of these traits. So we start with what? With anger. Right? One more time, there are those who frequent transgression of the law forbidden speech is rooted in trait of anger. So when a person is angry, it's like demons possess them. You understand? So, and he's not in control, or she's not in control, whatever they say. And even though, as somebody told me, he said, I knew if I'm going to say it, we would need to get divorced. But I could not hold my back. So I could not hold myself back. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. Like a person, like in his mind, he knew he should not have said that, and then he did anyway because he was angry. Scary. There are people by nature quick-tempered and eager, and their anger flares with slight provocation. Right? So. Or somebody jokes with them, I don't know, whatever happened. They exploded and they said whatever they said. In a fit of anger, they find it impossible to control their tongues, right? Speaking whatever comes to their mind. And as I said, in this time, and I also heard from a few other people who had the problem, I mean, have a problem, shalom bias. I mean, go fix that. Understand? So it got stuck in a partner's head, and that's it. It's not so easy to take out, right? Why? Because of the one sentence or two sentences. They could have been avoided if a person just keep quiet. That's it. That's how much it's cost. A lot, right? I mean, literally, like money-wise as well. Okay. There is no hope for such people to develop quality of Shmiras Haloshon unless they learn to overcome the tendency toward anger. Meaning what? If everything is good, yeah, they control themselves. But as soon as they're angry, that this goes to the garbage. That's why we have to go always to the root cause. Anger. Okay. Stop. Any questions on what we said?
Rabbi?
Yes.
So how much of the not so positive way we react to problems and other people's shortcomings, how much of this could we attribute to a lack of proper sleep? Usually, one gets more irritable, one gets more, it's easier for one to get pissed off with when you don't sleep properly, especially when you sleep between 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm not trying to blame it all into this issue, but how much could we attribute the way we react negatively to this situation because of the lack of sleep?
It's a lack of sleep, or it's a person just exhausted. Doesn't matter. Maybe he works so much, right? So, and it's easier when one spouse is exhausted, for example, got stuck in a traffic, right? Also, it's very, very it takes a lot of energy even to drive. Like, what are you doing for 2 hours? Sitting on in a car. It's very, very exhaustive, right? And then she comes home and he said something, and she exploded, right? Because she was tired from what was going on. So the thing is, as we said today, we have to look at the root cause and see how we can fix. If it's actually a big blessing. Is we said that we know that the problem, and it is a problem, like a lack of sleep, right? So we have to work on that, see what we can do, what can we improve, right? For example, somebody get into bed very late and then cannot get up and then sleep late. So it's so I told that person, make yourself get up very early. Like even if you're going to sleep 1 or 2 hours, you're going to suffer 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever is it, and the body is going to give up, right? And then 9 p.m. you're going to sleep like a baby, right? So that's the only way to force yourself to break yourself, and like in a few times, and body needs to sleep. There is what is it, disease, insomnia, I think, or whatever it's called. But it does not apply to most of the people. These people cannot sleep, and I think they're not that tired as a normal people, who usually just don't sleep enough. Okay. We also had a student. It was actually she sent me many questions and said I need the answers now. Okay, it was many years ago. I was not as busy, but okay. Well, so she had to go and to this test because she had this issue, and this test is actually overnight. So they have to measure. So she the whole office works overnight, and they have to they sleep, and these they connected to machines, like all this serious stuff. It's very interesting. So we had to figure out and ask them questions whether or not it was a yichud issue. You understand? And then it wasn't a yichud issue, right? Because she was sleeping, right? And male these technicians were of course they would not come every hour and check, but from time to time they would walk around and see. Of course they always slept in a dress, but still. That's what the yichud issue, for sure. Yeah, we arranged it, we explained, so she went to another place, and there is doctor more religious, I think, and there were, female nurses. But it's very interesting, yeah. So I'm aware of the issue, lack of sleep, right? So for some people, it's very, very serious. But for some people, it's just because of the food they eat. For example, if you eat too late, Right, to late like right before you go to bed, it's very unhealthy. So Rambam said, eat like 3 hours, 2 hours minimum before you go to bed. Right? Then by that time, the whole food is digested or mostly digested, and that's it. Right, the whole body is tired from digesting food, and it needs a little rest. Right. Okay. What else? Any other questions?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.